Hi everybody. I am doing my web broadcast today um, in two different subjects, completely different subjects. I did my last broadcast about the Real Housewives of New Jersey reunion, and I got so many emails about my comments that I made, so I just wanted to address those today. Um, One of the things I did get an email about was that I didn't comment on Caroline. And no, I didn't. I love Caroline. I absolutely adore her. I really have nothing to say about her. I did get an email about Caroline's unsolicited advice, and the only thing I have to say about that is, does Caroline give advice to people all the time? Do they want that advice? Not all the time. But here's the thing: every time Caroline gives somebody advice, they need it, whether they know it or not. They need that advice. Um, and it's not wanted. They don't realize they need it, but it's always really good advice, and they could definitely take that advice and they could use it. And I don't think she's doing anything wrong. I think she's looking out for her family. I think she's looking out for her friends, and especially with her and Teresa, I think more towards the beginning, mid season, before everything kind of blew up between Caroline and Teresa, and Teresa and everybody else. I think that Teresa was trying to kind of simplify Teresa's life. Caroline was just, I want to give you this advice because, number one, Teresa's annoying with, her deal with her brother and just never shutting up and, just nagging at each other and picking. And I think Caroline was tired of it. We all were. And, with Teresa arguing with her brother and having that whole fight and, her and her sister-in-law arguing, that doesn't really make for great TV. For like the first couple episodes, yeah, but to drag it on an entire season, it gets really old and it's really irritating. And I think Caroline was she wanted it to be done. She was trying to give Teresa advice and I think she was just trying to make it easier for Teresa to handle the situation. Um, I think it was great advice. I think she always gives great advice. And that's really all I have to say about that. Um, oh god, I just sound like Forrest Gump. Anyway, I also got an email about my comments about Jacqueline, you know, may or may not have been a stripper. Um, and, I don't know if she was a stripper or not, but with the things that are being written in the papers and in the tabloids about Jacqueline maybe, being a stripper, it clashes with her image. And because on TV we see Jacqueline as being a fantastic wife. We see her being a dedicated mother. She's a great friend. We see her being a very sensible woman with a great head on her shoulders. And then all of a sudden you have these people coming out and saying she was a stripper and she was this wild child and she met her husband in a strip club where she was working, and it clashes with the image that she has portrayed on TV. And I think, and nobody really had a problem with my comments, but I did get a lot of emails asking me what I would do if I was Jacqueline. Um, I think the best thing for Jacqueline to do would be to come out and talk about it. If she was not a stripper, then she should come out and say, I absolutely was not a stripper. That's not true. She needs to address that herself. Because in the tabloids, you're reading that she's telling her friends and her family and everybody she knows to deny it if anybody asks if she was a stripper. I think she needs to come out. She needs to address it herself. If she was not a stripper, she needs to come out. She needs to say, no, I was not a stripper. These are lies. This is not what I did. If she was a stripper, I think she needs to come out. She needs to say it. I think it would really help her a lot if she would just come out and say, yes, I was a stripper. Yes, I was a stripper. This is a strip club where I work. This is where I met my husband. But I think it's also really important for Jacqueline, if she would admit to being a stripper, I think it would be really important for her to also say, Yes, I was a stripper, but I was doing what I had to do to provide for my daughter. I was a single parent. I was doing what I had to do. There's going to be those people that are going to give her flack about it, and say, why didn't you just get like a normal job? Here's the thing about that. You can be a single parent and you can work at McDonald's for like $7 an hour and try to provide a good life for your child and try to provide for your kids the life that you wanted. Or you can be a stripper and you can make $2,000 a night plus tips. It's like, which would be easier to give my kids the life that they want? I'm going to be a stripper. It's not something I would have chosen to do, but you know what? It's to each his own. I don't know. I I don't see any problem with it. It was like 20 years ago. It has absolutely nothing to do with the person that she is today. But, I can understand how she would be concerned about ruining the image that she has going for herself on television. But when you have, the cookie cutter Jacqueline image over here on the TV show, and then in the tabloids, everybody's talking about her, saying she was a stripper, she was this wild child, she was horrible, she's telling everybody she knows to deny it. It's completely, those images are clashing. And no matter what, whether it's true or not, she needs to come out, she needs to address it herself. I also wanted to do this webcast on a custody issue that I'm going through. It's been going on for a long, long while, at least a year. I promised myself when this first started, I wasn't gonna do it. I wasn't gonna comment. I wasn't gonna make it super public. But I've just gotten to the point where I don't care anymore. I'm tired of it. So I'm gonna let you guys know what's going on, and you can let me know what the hell I should do. My son's father, my oldest son's father, he was not there when he was born. We split up when I was 7 months pregnant. He left. I did not hear from him until my son was almost 2 years old. He called me one day. He's like, hey, I'm back in town. I want to see Braden. My niece is having a birthday party this weekend. Bring him down. So I did. And Sean ignored him the entire time. So we left. And he saw him again when he was like 2.5. Hasn't seen him since. When Braden was 2.5, I filed for custody because neither one of us had custody. I had always had Braden, always. So I wasn't concerned about it, but then I realized, I had friends who were dealing with custody issues, and I thought, I have to get on top of this, I have to do this. So I filed for custody. And they had to serve Sean custody papers, and when they served him the papers, he had to sign for them. Okay? He knew I filed for custody. He never contested the custody papers. He also got a letter in the mail saying that I was going to go in front of the judge and I was going to receive full legal custody of my son. He and Sean never showed up to court to fight for him. 10 months after I got custody, Sean was texting me. He texted me and he asked me if he could see Braden. Or if he could, if he could have Braden for the summer or something. I don't remember what it said. It was a while ago. And I told him no. I don't want him around my son. I really don't. He has 3 kids that his family knows about. And he has 3 kids that his family does not know about. He doesn't want any of his kids. His family wants him to have his kids. So that's the only reason why he was ever paid any attention or ever was interested in seeing his kids. He has a very severe drinking problem. He's been in jail. He's broken probation dozens of times. When I got full custody, it was also court ordered that Sean pay child support, which he doesn't do. He has it all figured out that when he is in jail and when he's in the halfway house, he doesn't have to pay child support because he's not working. So it was court ordered that he paid child support. He's paid it maybe 2 or 3 times. and it was ordered 3 years ago, and he's paid it maybe 3, 4, 5 times in the last 3 years. He is currently trying to get custody of Braden. He's trying to take custody away from me. He has a 1-year-old son that lives with him and his girlfriend, and she wants Braden. He has another son with my friend Jennifer, and she made him relinquish his rights, so he can't take Morgan away from her. But he went to the court and he told them that I was calling him and threatening him and telling him that he'll never see Braden again. When actually 10 months after I went in front of the judge to get custody of Braden, Sean texted me and was bitching because it was all about child support. He was bitching because he didn't want to pay child support. He told me over text message that he wanted to relinquish his rights. He never did. He's been telling me that since Braden was born. He's been telling me this for 5 years, that he wants to relinquish his rights. It hasn't happened yet. And he is now trying to take Braden away from me. Probably not going to happen. Number one, he's not even stable for the child that he has. He is actually only home maybe 4 months out of the year. The rest of the year he's in jail or he's in the halfway house. He has a severe drinking problem. Having kids didn't make him change. He keeps saying that he's going to get sober. He's going to stay sober this time, yada, yada, yada. I have heard this. I've been hearing this for 6 years. I've known Sean for 6 years. Every time he, violates his probation, every time he gets in trouble for drinking, he always tells me, I'm going to get sober. It's going to work this time. I'm going to get sober. The only reason that I agreed to have Braden in the first place was because Sean told me, if we have a baby, I'll stop drinking. I will be so much better. I won't fuck around on you. I will stop drinking. And then I get pregnant and it got worse. I'm so in love with Braden. He's honestly one of the best things that has ever happened to me, so I'm absolutely super glad that I had him. But I don't want him around Sean. And Sean is now telling everybody that I threatened him. He did not tell his lawyer that I had full legal custody. His lawyer knew nothing about it until I called my lawyer and I said, I already had that was not a threat. I did not threaten him to get a lawyer. I actually did get a lawyer. I went in front of the judge. I got full custody. And Sean's lawyer had no idea. He never told his lawyer that I had custody. And then Sean is denying even knowing that I filed for custody in the first place. But when he got served the custody papers, he had to sign for them. And now he's saying he had no idea. And not only that, but he'll go like a year and a half without he'll go like a year and a half without talking to Braden. He won't see him. He's never sent him a birthday present, never sent him a Christmas card, nothing. He pays child support when he feels like it. He's not a stable person. And I don't see him taking custody away from me, but there's always a chance that he could get like partial custody, which I'm trying to avoid. I don't want Braden near him at all. I don't want him near that family. I don't want him near Sean. He's not a stable person. He's a deadbeat father. He's just honestly this just huge pile of shit. And he's always been like that, and he's never going to be any different. It's never going to get better. I don't want my son around that. So I don't know what you all would do if you were in my situation, but I guess you just have to go to court decide that he's a complete pile of crap. So, I don't know. You guys let me know what you think I should do.